Welcome back to ESL One Genting 2018. Day number 3 of 6. Dota 2 Professional Tour continues. It's round number 10. Teams searching for points and prize money here, of course. And we've narrowed the field down to 4 that we know of so far going through the playoffs. And today we'll see our final 2 teams slotted into the quarterfinals as we head up into the mountains tomorrow for day number 4. Right now, we are EG versus TNC, and EG against the odds, some would say, in terms of the draft, are 1-0 up. In the other match that's going on right now, which you can see on the other stream, block your ears for 5 seconds. You didn't block your ears. Block your ears, otherwise I spoiled it. It's currently Maneski leading by a game to 0 over Na'Vi. That game is just about to start. That's also in Pick a Bands, which is where we're going to head to in the draft very momentarily. Gods and Haz back joining me at the panel once more. Let's talk about game 2. If it goes to form, then this is the good draft for EG. And then they lose.
Yeah.
How do they break the spell, Alan? How do they break this vicious cycle?
So I'm thinking more about TNC because you could tell, I mean, obviously we thought they had a better draft. I thought you could tell by their reactions
They did have
on
a better
screen.
draft. Like, not you think they had a better.
I mean, high-fiving your captain, right?
He broke his arm.
Yeah, maybe that's why they lost. That's a little bit of a gut check for a team,
He's got a sprained wrist now.
You go into a best-of-3 series against an opponent that you know is capable of playing very, very good Dota.
Yeah.
You think you outdraft them and lose. That can actually be a little bit of a mental setback, I think.
Sure, but then I think on the other side of it, EG did the same thing against Penta on the second day.
That's true.
Bounced back, no problem. So still possible, right? TNC aren't going to be sitting there thinking, oh god, we're going to lose this now.
No, definitely still possible. And I think it's a nice takeaway to have. Like, you know, your drafts are on point and you feel like you put yourself in a position to win the game and your execution's off because, you know, you kind of go back, you relax, you try and calm down your players if you're Thebin and say, look, we can still win this. I think he and his team likely know the draft wasn't what let him down and that they can just stick to the game plan and just try and execute better.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you expect too much different in this second draft from them? Because they didn't do a lot wrong in that last draft.
I mean, it might be different in the sense they might not clock SF first too,
right.
but they may.
Yeah,
you know, if they ban Tusk, I think that protects the SF a lot better in the mid lane. So I think we'll see very similar thing from TNC they've been doing. I think they're a team that very rarely gets heavily outdrafted. They lose to themselves a lot with players like Cuckoo and Raven just being very volatile in their performance.
And the last 3 drafts that we've seen, you've pointed out each time that they haven't prioritized the offlane. They've basically sacked it and then just even picked into a counter on 2 of the 3 last drafts. Do you feel like they can carry on doing that?
No, I think that's the thing when people look at TNC, numbers-wise, you see the Cuckoo games, you see the big Raven games, but Sam H is a huge playmaker for that team, and I think that's what you have to put a little bit more thought into in this draft. It also bears mentioning in the last game that you did pick Clock SF into a team with Bulba as coach, and he knows Clockwork in particular and that combo as well as anybody on the planet. His impact on this EG team is not just in the draft.
Bans already in from both teams. They have banned the Tusk, and they've banned the Chen. So I guess they're just like, well, we don't really know or fully understand which one was the biggest pain in the bum, but let's just get rid of both of them.
So Terrorblade's still in the pool is probably the big hero to look at as far as the cores go, that both teams love to play, Raven and Arteezy. And Nightstalker 4 position picked up first. They took out the Tusk, so we'll see what EG respond with. Very likely we see crits here, whether it's the Elder Titan or the Earth Spirit picked up first too.
I'm surprised actually with TNC with having first pick that they didn't pick up the Earth Spirit.
They're more Nightstalker.
Competition for that hero by both teams, so it makes sense to pick it up one, I guess.
For EG, you know, if you don't pick it, TNC will, and then they get bans to protect it. But nice thing for TNC is they get a bit more time to respond to the TB pick. They can instantly pick Tinker first too. It's kind of like a crazy unheard of thing, but there's definitely merits to doing so when there's a TP on the other side.
And Cuckoo, one of the top Tinker players out there over the last several patches, it's one of his signature heroes, and that's kind of been a problem in this patch. There you go with the Tinker. That two or three really of Cuckoo's best heroes in the Queen of Pain, the Tinker, and the Lina have just been not viable at all.
I mean, Misery Rubik though, it's very nice.
I also like. I think Crits Rubik.
Crits Rubik's good, but I like the way Misery plays Rubik. I think he's very smart with it.
I agree. I agree. I think.
But could be either right now. They could play as a 4, couldn't they?
It's an interesting first 2 pick. It's obviously very stable. Fits most draft. You're always going to have some good spells to steal. And it does, you've got Nullfield against a very likely Tinker pick, but...
I love some of Sumail's expressions. They're just... you could read so much from different ways that he's very emotional in his face, but they rarely match. You think he's having a bad day or something by some of the looks he gives you, but actually he's not.
Yeah, so surprisingly, Terrorblade has actually fared perfectly well first, second, third phase. I mean, he's been one of the dominant heroes in this patch, up there with the Elder Titan and the Lycan, and his win rate actually is not much different.
Yeah.
First, second versus third phase.
He's pretty good all round, isn't he?
Yep.
You know, he's good pushing, good towers, good
Well, he's
team fight. I mean, he's got a bit of everything that you can use. So.
He's also a hero that, at the top level of Pro Dota, recently at least, a lot of these games have just come down to kind of the rubber banding at the end, where one team pushes into the enemy team's base, you get a bunch of buybacks, there's a push in the opposite direction, and so on. And TB is a hero that, if you ever get into those rubber banding situations, he just accumulates building damage so quickly. He keeps the side lanes pushed at no cost to himself. He's almost always going to come out ahead in those battles.
Just while we're waiting for these bans to come in, where's Jakiro gone?
Jakiro.
I'm sorry, Paul.
He's out of the tournament just like Complexity. Like,
wow.
You got...
I don't know what was more brutal.
I won't make that joke. Anyway.
I think I had a nice 6-month period last year where it was picked, and that was about it. That's its heyday is gone.
Well, this is the guy that you could thank for bringing it back to the fore for a short time.
Yeah, that's why I picked it up.
Yeah, but as the emphasis, Jakiro doesn't roam well.
No, he doesn't.
Right,
no.
he's a very static hero.
And he's never been good in mid. I know they were playing him in mid, but can you remember any one game where you went, oh, that Jakiro totally carried that game out of it? There's never a game like that.
But
so
seemed promising as an offlaner.
Yeah, he was okay as an offlaner, but I think he was better as a 4 or 5.
Yeah, the universe had a couple of really good offlane Jakiro games, like 8-minute Yules.
So, banning the team fight offlanes for EG, TNC, banning the heroes that can counter a Tinker, Nyx. Dragon Knight, not a Tinker counter by any means, but a hero EG have played on Fear, as well as RTC maybe one game, but yeah, mostly Fear playing the Dragon Knight.
Well, but you look already, and EG is focusing their second their second phase bans rather on that offlane role. Doom and Darkseer, really the only two signature SAMH heroes left.
Are you surprised that EG took out the Bane?
No. I think once that if they were planning a draft where they weren't going to pick it, they don't give it to TNC because TNC is 10-2 with that hero.
True.
It's like such a first pick worthy hero. If you have second pick, you're just like, well, we want to ban it.
Yeah.
I think game 1 TNC banned it.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was when it was the other way around.
Yeah. So Bounty, which
5 seconds remaining.
I like this support duo, Rubik Bounty.
Yeah, you okay with that?
Yep.
It's not a popular pick for crit, which means
could be Misery.
Maybe Misery plays it. Yeah, and
Misery,
then the Rubik does go with crit.
Yeah. Oh, Misery. They're 0-1. Misery's picked it once since he joined the EG roster. It's weird. Bounty Hunter has become like Wisp once was, where there are teams that run it a lot, and there are teams that just won't touch it because they're not Bounty Hunter teams.
Yeah. Misery played a lot on DC.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. It was often his go-to kind of for the.
Yeah, it would make more sense now, wouldn't it, to push that Rubik to crit.
Oh my god!
That's overkill. Is my first thought. Like, why do you need Zeus and Tinker? Zeus against Bounty Hunter is. Like, as much as, you can Lightning Bolt find the Bounty, it really goes the other way. Bounty is the one scouting and finding the Zeus and causing Zeus problems more often than not.
10 seconds remaining.
Is this even Zeus core?
It's probably
These guys.
Probably a 3-position SAMH hero is my guess, but...
I don't know, man. I think that this is very well maybe...
5-position Zeus?
Yeah.
A 5-position Zeus, Nahaz? Can you look at me in the eyes, Nahaz. 5-position
I know.
Zeus.
I think it's more likely. I think 5-position Night Stalker is more viable than 5-position Zeus. But oh boy.
What have TNC done here? What's going on?
They're just being true to the Fable gods. That's all they're doing here. They understand that they have to have a bad draft here
to beat EG. That's how it's working.
That's how it works.
Okay.
They understand.
10 seconds remaining.
That's the strat. It explains the data by the
It's why your head right now is like...
Yes, it is. It actually is. I'm done.
They need some big carry here. They need some anti-mage-esque hero for TNC.
Oh my God, AM against
Morphling.
against Terrorblade is like the worst.
No, that's not a good matchup. I don't know what they need. With a
God, I don't think you can.
Well,
I
the
don't
thing is,
even think
you've already got the
can't
TB.
YOLO Weaver again.
you can go AM in the sense like you play more split pushy and you've got the Tinker, the Zeus. For
Just
the
avoid
TB.
Terrorblade on the map.
Hey gods, like if you just want to, let's just pick 4 heroes that all counter TB because Raven does play Timbersaw. It's just
Jeez, good luck killing a single tier 1 tower
yeah,
this game.
no, that would be the worst.
They needed position 5 Jakira. That's what they needed. Just for towers.
Oh my, Paul.
What are they?
That would totally mess with the draft. What would also mess
so
with the draft? Well,
we've talked about this. This is Raven's
Yeah.
most picked.
Yeah.
Lame matchup too. That's good against Omni.
Exactly.
Yeah. EG typically outrunning this kind of, or TZ playing the carry in the off lane or traditional off lane. So we'll see if TNC can get the lanes right because they really want the Razor matchup against that Omni, I'd say.
5 seconds
And have
remaining.
like Zeus. You want Zeus kind of in the side lane against a Terrorblade.
So what are we looking for EG?
What is... Yeah, they haven't got Fierce Hero yet. Unless we're seeing some kind of a Omni for him. You could do, like, I don't know. Omni mid against Tinker's not a thing.
Not really.
Maybe just Death Prophet. That's something that they've done a lot for free.
Death Prophet.
I mean, I tell you what, Sumail has played a lot of in the offline. Zeus.
Get out
He has.
of my draft.
He has played Zeus in the offline.
Well,
Just
No,
say it,
that's
even though it's gone on the other side. But
other round,
it's just funny that he's one of the ones that played it.
he played Zeus in the mid lane too recently.
Yes, he did,
After
yeah.
the
10
new
seconds
addition,
remaining.
Misery. But Puck seems to be a good fit for EG. Gives some
Yeah.
catch,
I
team
like
fight,
Yeah.
the ability to
I think
kind of
TNC
lock down
banned
the
that though
Tinker.
here, don't they?
Probably. If not that, Storm Spirit can TNC deal this
Is that a
one
good
through?
Storm game?
Turn to pick.
Yeah. There's like no lockdown at all.
It's true, yeah.
Just a Night Stalker Silence, so
Oh.
it's, you've got Repel to back you up.
Yeah, but then so we're assuming that Sumail's going to
Give
be
me a
the Omni.
Sumail
Again,
Storm.
yeah, the big
And then
thing
switch
is
him to mid.
I think you also have to along with the Death Prophet. The other thing is, it's a little bit greedy, but you can just pick Medusa.
yeah. It's hard to kind of all these heroes that seem good don't really feel like what EG are doing with
Right,
their
right.
their player composition. It seems like Fierce is playing it like that's where the Veno ban. They're targeting what EG are doing with Fear, like a Veno or a Viper. Those are the heroes that EG are playing on. The Death
Yeah.
Prophet you mentioned,
Right,
but
yeah.
the hero pick that looks to fit their draft is the Storm here, the Puck. That gives them catch for the Tinker, a hero to
But
jump on Zeus.
if they play Storm, do they not switch Sumail back to mid for that?
I would.
They
be,
have to,
Yeah,
don't they?
that would be my
Yeah.
gut thought, but who knows?
So
5 Night Stalker, 4 Sand King, Tim Sand King, and offlane Zeus.
Sam H Zeus.
I think
yeah.
I don't. I mean, Night
tough.
Stalker.
Yeah, it's offlane
Night
Zeus.
Stalker Sand King can also be offlaners, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be
10
offlane Zeus,
seconds
isn't it?
remaining.
That's tough. I think you're putting again. You're taking Sam H away from sort of
5
his
seconds
comfort.
remaining.
It
And
is
it
going
is
to be the
Storm.
Storm.
Yeah.
I'm really interested.
Right,
to
so let's see. We have to
who plays
figure out
what
who
here.
plays what.
Yeah.
But we're not going to be able to see that, unfortunately.
it was the best pick for the draft.
It
I
was,
think
yeah.
EG recognized that. We'll see if they commit to these.
There was a little,
there
there's
you
a little
go.
nod there. He's like, yeah, all right.
I got
you can
this.
You can have the mid boy.
Yeah,
Is that what
let's-
that was? You think?
I
You
think-
don't
I
think that
think
was
so.
Fear saying, "I
Yeah.
will do you proud"?
Yeah.
I think that was let's throw it back, baby.
He's smiling.
Let's bring back a
I
little
don't know.
AC/DC, Thunderstruck. I love it. Now, this reminds me a lot of a draft we did yesterday where Newbie picked Tinker for SCCC because it made so much sense, even though it's not a vintage SCCC hero.
I tell you what, with the heroes we've got in this game, if you don't like lightning, you're going to hate this game.
there you
You're
go.
going to absolutely hate it.
Well, I'm not going to follow your rule, Paul.
okay,
I'm
all right.
sorry.
The Fable. It's not my rule. I didn't invent it. It's the EG Fable.
I think EG have the better drafter, and I think they're going to win the
Oh
game.
God. Okay, so EG have the better draft, and you're going with EG.
Got to do it.
All right, gods. Don't play with us now.
That Zeus pick still throwing me off, so I think I'm going to go with EG because of that.
Okay.
I want to see a
Suppose-
Fear Storm, though. I'm hoping for Fear on the Storm.
A fist of get out of here. It's Storm Spirit. There's only one player that can play it in Evil Genius, isn't it, Sumail? Let's find out, though. Who is playing it? I think that's the first question we need to answer. These two have gone for Evil Geniuses. What have our commentary team gone for as we head into game number 2?
What? He didn't do it. We knew he wouldn't do
You've
it.
been baited, my friend.
You
I
paused for so long.
told him I was gonna do. I was like, I'm gonna open up our intro like that. I'm gonna open up.
You'll do the
Ding,
Thunderstruck.
ding, Thunderstruck, and he's like, I'll do the music.
Yeah. He wouldn't do it. I try.
I
still
did.
have some hope left in my life. Okay. Oh, is that?
You're not a jaded old caster like us. All right.
In terms of being wrong, I guess we said 100% Sumail Storm.
Yep.
I can read. That is not true.
That is indeed not true.
It appears to still be RTs. We'll see if this is swap.
Maybe
they might still swap.
Maybe, yeah. In real life, they swap.
Smart.
Yeah. Because in the end,
hey, we have the camera shots to prove it, though.
yeah. But TNC won't know that. It's not like they're going to get a camera shot. You think that's in the admin rules? Not allowed to swap seats?
It should be, I think.
That'd be the ultimate mind game.
Wow. Okay.
I bet
Next
VP
level.
could do it.
I bet they could. I bet they'd get away with it too. But alas, here we are. So these drafts, we have the Omni Knight and the Storm. We've heard a lot from EG about Storm. They're probably the team that's talked the most about Storm Spirit. In terms of like what they like with the hero. They often talked about the mana battery idea. That's not something that they're really getting this game. But the idea of having this protector, the Omni Knight, someone who enables you to just go crazy in every single team fight. Kind of the same deal for a Terrorblade, honestly. This looks like a pretty fun game for RTZ on the Storm Spirit.
What was mana battery concept?
Like Coddle, Keep It Alive, just
okay,
an IO or something,
right,
anything like that that would give lots of mana to the hero.
I see. Man, TNC just completely drafted to dump all over a Terrorblade.
Yeah, they really, I mean, they went in. Right at the start of the draft, like, yeah, okay, we'll take the
They
Tinker.
went a Zeus, Tinker. Like, I don't know, man. This is pretty crazy. And that means EG did have a last pick Storm Spirit, and it looks like a really good Storm Spirit game. A good counter to the Tinker as well. It looks like they're already going to see our first counter to the Tinker. Early game ganks. We're going to have full supports rotate into mid lane and grant RTZ the first blood.
Storm versus Tinker. We used to see this matchup quite a bit, actually, of course. Storm was that big counter pick to the Tinker that everyone looked towards when Tinker was certainly more popular and one of the most obnoxious heroes. And Storm also used to be quite a bit better back then, but now both those heroes have kind of slowly climbed their way back into the meta. And it's kind of those, like, typically they're the guys who get ganked before level 6, There's, like, pressure comes on to either one of them or something like that, but it's probably going to be a little bit more chill here.
I'm honestly a little bit surprised that Nightstalker isn't just chilling out mid.
Yeah, I'm surprised the supports have even left at this point, honestly. I thought that it would be a bit more active.
But that's because he's got to try and help out Sam H against Fear's Terrorblade, I guess. And somehow I'm not too surprised that Fear's the one playing the Terrorblade. Oh, no. That was not the Burrow Strike, and he is going to get punished heavily for that one. No Sandstorm, so he's just going to have to take the full wallop of damage coming out from the Terrorblade.
But the Razor pick as well, I guess we were talking about, like, it looks a little awkward in terms of the draft, but it just comes down to that importance of laning that we've come to in the most recent patches and meta. And everyone always discusses that when it comes to Omni Knight, pretty much the only hero that you can really feel that comfortable and confident with is going to be that Razor. So Raven should have a fairly good time here, not really under much kill threat, even with the Rubik around. It's more so just kind of helping to stabilize the lane. So not expecting too much pressure down there. And then it's 1-4-3-7 back on the Zeus, so he's done this before. They've also run it before in a core role for Cuckoo, so there was a little bit of flexibility possibilities, I suppose. But it's what advantage they have. They have crazy good vision control this game. You're running a Night Stalker and a Tinker. Or sorry, a Night Stalker and a Zeus, and that's all for a Tinker to have that extra vision so that he feels safer across the map, farming as well as enabling during ganks.
It's such a weird starting build. You see that Zeus? He was given shared tangos, straight up clarities.
Yeah, and he's a support. It's just like...
Yeah. Pretty weird.
He's
got to stabilize the lane. I thought he was going to be mid. I thought he was going to pew, 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 all like over and over and over again and try and win that mid lane for Cuckoo. And he's just been kind of wandering around.
Yeah, I think he's just living the bounty rune life.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to take anything away from Raven. Can't really add much to it, I guess. He feels like he'll just be regenerated away from the Omni Knight. So, yeah, it's bounty rune scavenging time for him.
I don't know what he's going to do here. Apparently Dota 2 isn't sure what he's going to do here.
He's got some time to think about it.
Moment of respite. I mean, they do have the Razor matchup versus the Omni Knight. It's pretty good for Razor. It's one of the few heroes that does counter the Omni Knight really well. You have a source of Purge against Repel, against the Ultimate as well. In laning phase, you have the Static Link. But he does have the Rubik kind of stabilizing the lane and making it so Sumail isn't totally shoved out for 90% of the laning phase, which is exactly what a Razor does. to any melee offlaner.
Bit of an odd little smoke here. Smoked up Zeus and Night Stalker this early on in the game. I mean, it is nighttime, but he's also still level 2 and like 3/4 for the NS.
They're going to catch RTZ, slowing him down. They're going to get a good amount of damage coming out from 1437, and they didn't even bother to throw the extra nukes coming off the Tinker.
Okay.
Just knew they had it. The kill does end up going to Tim's as a result of Cuckoo's... what's the word I'm looking for? You know, you don't spend what you don't need.
Laziness. Frugalness.
Frugalness, thank you.
How about that?
He was being mana frugal. Laziness. You lazy, Cuckoo.
Can't even press those buttons.
Crit, double damage, trying to run away from Tim's. Going to be chased down. It looks
right.
like he will end up dying. Sumail actually had to kind of give up on trying to threaten anybody because he's got a static link on him, so he just had to run away from Raven.
Tim's slaying it, man. Level 4, or rather 4 minutes in, and then you're only level 2 as a Night Stalker. That's scary, and that's kind of the life these days. You know, that first night is almost like a just gone. Oh, Cuckoo though. That's scary. Yep, but the fact that he just gets the kill mid, and then he goes right down bottom, gets that other kill. Sadly, a lot of that advantage has been lost because the Tinker just went down. But this might just mean that Tim's can at least get one more kill before this nighttime ends, and already off to a pretty important start when he has a Zeus taking all of his bounty runes.
Yeah, certainly. Where do you think he rotates to next?
I don't know if they can do anything against Fear, would be my only question, because he's going to be pretty close to 6. He's also got some help from a Rubik and a Bounty Hunter. I mean, he's heading up there, but...
Yeah, they've left the Terrorblade alone for a little while, so they're probably thinking he is solo, but Crit and Misery are here. Good placement by Misery to try and chase down Sam H. Still gets a couple of hits in. He's going to be slowed down by the Orb of Venom and will slowly die, this time by the hand of Crit.
Yeah, I guess mid probably would have been the better play, but it's hard to tell. You know, they didn't necessarily know exactly where the supports were. Now he has the vision up there, so he even sees Crit rotating back for this bounty room, but can't really apply any pressure. Just wants to secure his own. Sadly for him, though, Misery has already stolen it. And Raven actually gets the runes down bottom. Where is 1437? He's just under the tower. Still looking to make something happen here.
Do they have any stacks anywhere, Trent, for the Tinker or anything? Because I was thinking, like, if they do stack up, right, then, like, the Zeus is really good at stacking thanks to Arc Lightning. Then he, in turn, can take the mid lane while Tinker goes and farms the jungle.
Yeah, that could be something to start looking for now, actually. But overall, they've been quite busy. I guess 1437 is probably the one who is like the least impactful at this point in terms of his rotations and everything. He's mostly been on the bounty runes, but he did help out when Tim's made that rotation to the mid and to the bottom lane. He was just kind of trailing behind the whole time. Misery tries to go for the courier side. He actually gets it post immunity. Couldn't get it over the trees or anything like that. And the instant TP with the ward down. Very nice. That'll probably get countered though.
Yeah. The goes for the 1-1-2 build for the extra damage against the courier. Works out there. Razor in big trouble. That is the one small advantage is for the Omni Knight against the Razor is you do have a very heavy pure damage nuke. If supports can rotate for you, get disables, and you've got maybe another nuke on your hand, you can actually get a kill on the Razor, and that really helps offset the laning phase advantage that Razor has. You can see he's actually not that good on CS. Only 24-6 compared to 34-11 on Omni Knight.
Yeah, that help from the Rubik really paying off. Yeah. And that was with the pressure that came down from the Night Stalker and the Zeus. And that means that in terms of net worth right now, all 3 Radiant cores are at the top of the chart, which is often the one of the best ways to start your game off. So, Sumail probably hoping he gets to play quite a bit like his Abaddon game. Maybe get into a Radiance or something.
Go for a kill on Fear here. Slowed down. Silenced off as well with the Epicenter. They've easily got the magic damage between the two of them to bring him down. Raven is just overkill. TNC are doing the early rotations. I think we had a conversation about that on Team Liquid. We were watching that Na'Vi Team Liquid game and how Team Liquid are always willing to bring numbers nice and early.
Can't believe you didn't do the Thunderstruck intro with me. I'm really offended. My feelings are still a little bit hurt. It's been 8 minutes.
It's actually the whole entire reason is because I got thrown up because I thought I was going to do the chorus and you were going to do the music that comes afterward. I didn't know you were going to do the intro to the song.
Yeah,
see you through me through it up.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. I see right through you.
Misery, you're in trouble, son.
They see through him as well. With a zap. Is he at a mana? Oh, he's at mana.
He's got no zap mana, but as long as he doesn't get hit by marching machines, Misery is going to be good. Sam H, hey, let's turn around. Stop focusing on a bounty hunter you can't catch, and let's see if we can punish some mail here. Slow it down a little bit more. Kuku's double damage, doing a lot of work. Needs to get the laser. Nice play by Kuku. I like the fact that he stopped his laser, got another hit in, because laser is instantaneous.
Yeah, also having the silence early on there from the Night Stalker too.
Yeah.
Quite a handy thing up against an Omni. Didn't have the repel, and couldn't get off another heal or anything.
2017, 2018, no games of Storm Spirit for RTZ. And not that much in his whole entire record either.
I hear he started playing with some guy around that time.
He was pretty good at Storm, right?
Yeah. But
Man,
he fell off hard.
Wonder where that guy went.
No idea.
Certainly not in the mid lane
Now
anymore.
he just plays brain dead heroes.
Brain dead, run at you heroes. Like Omni Knight.
And yeah, once again, he's eyeing up those drums. Fear, I haven't seen in a while, but he's doing his thing. You know, he's Fear. He's hitting some neutral camps. He's getting farmed. No pressure coming his way. And that was with that vision actually stayed up around him. So they've been eyeing what Fear's been doing. Like, they're fully aware of where he is, but it's daytime. So it's hard to make that maneuver in there. They're still just kind of focusing on getting Tinker farmed.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's daytime. You think Night Stalker really sees that?
Dude, that hero's blind during the day now. It is painful.
He feels pretty bad. Pretty bad, but at least he's got some extra movement speed now for the daytime times, as he's going to be picking up his phase boots delivered via courier. They're going to attempt for a kill on Sumail, though. That seems like a difficult kill to get. We'll see if they can get the combo here. Leave when he's done. Follow up with the epicenter. Make sure they get the silence in. Magic damage. Those aplenty. TNC will take another one.
Nicely done again, not allowing time for that repel.
And again, they brought Razor. TNC are always willing to bring some of these extra heroes, let the Tinker from the other side of the map. It's one of the beauties of Tinker, right? Is that you don't have to worry about shoving out the lane so much.
Yeah, you can be way more patient with the other heroes.
Yeah.
And you can have a couple heroes kind of in that same area, too. Always waiting for like kill opportunities, the Sand King just lurking nearby. And they've timed it well with the Siege catapult, so easy life. And doesn't look like there'll be any sort of an option on the opposite sides of the map for EG. So what will be their response then? Misery's going to skate out behind.
Give him a love tap.
Yeah, I guess that does drive them away. So still very tight, 5 to 6, 1K lead for EG. I'm not sure how I feel overall about this game. I've obviously lost quite a bit of favor for the old Night Stalker just because he's been nerfed so much.
Sure.
Doesn't feel quite as good, but I think if you get past that early game and you've gotten a little bit of work done and you can get some items on the hero, his vision game is still relatively the same. He is going to be helped out during the daytime at the very least from Zeus. Just, you know, you can just ulti, you get an idea as to where everyone is. That's going to help a lot for the Tinker jumping through these fights. But then heading to that mid game as well, Misery's done very well for himself, and we're going to have these tracks going on. He's poor net worth-wise, but he's almost into level 6. Does he have any buddies to get kills, though? It'll basically just be him, Storm, and our Rubik. Omni, of course, not the quickest guy.
Smoke rotation. It's going to find Fear here. They actually pop the Zeus ultimate as well. Oh, they let him get off Sunder. Tims.
He's been so good on the silences.
Sure, they actually are still going to kill the Terrorblade and all that, but I don't think Raven's going to be too happy about the situation. They want to go for a push, and he's sitting at half HP.
Oh, the question will be, can they do anything about this? If Crit gets a decent steal, there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance. Well, not if he gets stunned up and bursted down. Nuke comes out from the Razor. 1437 gets close enough for the Lightning Bolt. So good placement there from Sam H, but they do extend themselves pretty deep. And now Raven, he's going to be paying the price for that missing HP. Finally, the Storm does catch him, but it runs out of mana now. Try and go for Sam H instead. Sam H, 1, 2, 3 seconds for a Burrow strike out instead. Tries to go for the TP, doesn't make it.
And that kind of showed that too, with the Storm making plays and everything, the Omni couldn't get there in time to get the purification on the hero they actually wanted with the pullback. I mean, no fault of Sumail, honestly. It's pretty damn impossible, even with phase boots and using a drum charge. Couldn't quite grab it.
I wonder if he's going to go the Yules.
Yeah, Yules.
For an additional disable against the Tinker and just that big old movement speed build.
I don't think they have enough reasons for him to pick up a Blink. Obviously, can be pretty good against certain initiations and everything, or against a Tide Hunter or something. You might want it to be able to pop out after. But more important for him to just kind of stay in those front lines, these engagements.
So I always ask Blitz about the updates on Storm Spirit. His latest one was Kaya not feeling too hot on the hero.
Yeah, that's the big slasher opinion too, right? Like he was saying, like, Kaya's not core. Like, it can be okay, but overall it feels not that fabulous according to many Storm enthusiasts.
Apparently, Arteezy disagrees. Picks up the early Kaya and is going to go straight to Orchid rather than the Bloodstone. I feel like this is the older build, right? You go Kaya, maybe Orchid into the Bloodstone. Like, you seriously delay your Bloodstone by quite a lot. But lately, I feel like we haven't been seeing that as much. As Kaya's fallen a bit out of favor, but Arteezy still thinking this build fits this game.
Yeah,
definitely does need the early Orchid.
Yeah, I like the
down
Orchid
with
for
that,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, it's some way to target down this Tinker. It's kind of all on him.
Maybe that's
Again,
why it's like
yeah.
Bloodstone compared to, for a first item, right? Bloodstone compared to Kaya.
And if
like,
he gets silenced in a fight, he just dies.
Yeah.
So.
They are going to be able to grab the Tinker here in the top lane. Misery has a track on him. Wants to be able to get the Shuriken out. Cuckoo did manage to finish up his rearm, but it's not going to make a difference. Oh, the ultimate goes out from the Zeus. In the mid-fight, they do manage to take down Fear pretty low. Bloody managed to get off the Sunder onto Raven. He's stolen a lot of damage, though. Not enough. It seems they're still a bit scared of fighting against Old Man Fear.
Yeah, man. Misery did die to the ulti from the Zeus, and then it barely survived from Arteezy. He went down solo. He actually did zip to dodge the last tower attack to keep himself alive. So managed to get himself back home, though. So overall, Gank's still very successful in the top lane. A lot of ultis fly out, and TNC are able to defend their tower. But the siege waves are coming in. Not sure if either team can maybe take advantage of this and go for a push. It looks like we're just going to spread out and farm for a bit.
There's another Kaya hero. Zeus.
Now that we definitely see a lot.
Yeah.
The Agnivs on this hero, you really just cannot underestimate either. Even in the support role, it's often teams will give a ton of space to the hero to get it, especially Secret, of course, with Yapzor. Certainly the most notable team that practices this strategy often. And it completely changes the game. It's an insane amount of damage. And he's got decent combo this game with the Sand King, too, so multi-man burst strike into a quick kill in the jungle there under a TB.
Nice kill on Fear, and they're going to wrap back into mid. Now 1437 has already been gone on and bursting down by Sumail and crit Cuckoo. Misery thought about it. He really wanted to actually go for that play, but TP already completed back over the mid lane. Raven is going to be able to get on top of crit, but there is a Storm Sphere here. Surprise! Arteezy gets a good amount of damage, but a two-man Burrow Strike, that's going to help, but it's still too much heal damage. And now with a repelled up Arteezy right in front of two different heroes, he can just fight. They are going to lose crit. Tinker desperately trying to get some damage onto some of these heroes to make sure they can't chase down Tims. It seems like the threat is enough. Swayed them from going for it. Sumail actually taking tons of damage here, but again, Tim's not able to get on top of him. So at the end, TNC lose a real bad fight inside that river area, and Fear just kind of casually shrugs off his deaths from earlier because it's his allies that are the big winners of this.
It ends up being just space for him, too, down the bottom lane. Pushes out a couple waves, and it ends up being about a 1k gain for the Radiant side this game. So a little bit scary, though, if they want to keep making plays like that. We're going to be watching out for any sort of big, if they try and make another deep dive like that, they could run to something like the Tinker. So they'd be very cautious they don't give away any sort of, like...
Apologies, it seems like Night Stalker has casted a significant darkness spell.
Usually it's the global silence that gets us.
Yeah, that is true.
It's okay, nothing happened, guys. I'm still in there.
Anything happen?
Oh, yep.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
Arteezy's going to grab a kill onto
top
Cuckoo.
lane. It looks like Tinker is going to go down to Arteezy.
Still counts.
That
Saw the body.
17-minute... Good job, JJ.
Yeah.
Not even in the game, still catches the kills. Tims, it's daytime, my friend, and Sumail is running so damn fast. Look at him, he's just sprinting at the Night Stalker. Is going to run him down underneath the tier 2 tower. And nobody can really stop it. 1437, trying to push back Misery, but he's got track on him, so I advise...
Yep. As you have theorized, the Yules, right? Using that drum charge, it's a percent-based gain that you get, so the more movement speed that you're stacking on your hero, the more effective those charges are, and he just runs like a demon. Although this demon doesn't move very much, this Fear guy. He just kind of stands still.
He really does. Stands tall against towers. They've already taken the tier 1, gets a bit of damage on the tier 2. It looks like... Are they going to go top? They've already got Stormseer pushing into that tier 2.
They're playing a bit blind right now from EG. In terms of wards, they have the tracks going on, so they have ideas like what the Zeus is up to and stuff like that, but overall, not too much aggressive vision. They've got themselves a Tinker ward, though, up in the top lane, so they're hoping that'll help them catch out Cuckoo. Misery, providing that vision when they're lacking it from wards too.
Jump in for the Storm Spirit. A little bit deep. Still going to catch the Zeus, though, and actually pulls in the Razor, so they're going to try and get these extra kills. Sam H did not have enough damage to be able to finish off Crit. Tim's going to try and go for the kill anyway, but Samael, who had popped his ultimate, defends against the Razor pretty well, and they're able to get that kill. Now Tinker can clean this up, though. They've already gotten 2 kills off of the Rockets. Maybe they can control the Storm Spirit long enough. Needs a little bit longer with the silence out there, but Orchid placed onto Cuckoo, preventing a lot of this damage. RTZ finally gets off the silence, goes for the TP out, and he's going to make it away. That would have been a huge win for TNC. They desperately needed that too with a 6,000 gold lead by Evil Geniuses. If they had gotten a big hero like Stormsphere, top of the net worth right now, that would have been worth so much to them.
Yeah, and that does certainly highlight the problems that can come towards EG. They lost a little bit of their lead there, about 2K or so overall, just from those kills that got fired back onto Cuckoo at the end. So if they dive too deep like that and they get punished by the Tinker, they could easily throw away this lead. So.
Oh, just imagine if he had that Kaya in the last fight.
Yeah.
They definitely would have killed Storm. Misery reveals himself just to get some track time on the Tinker while he's farming. So Tinker won't feel as comfortable going to these side lanes and pushing him out. I'm going to check out again that fight in the mid lane.
That was a good gank.
It was a strong
I'd say that
gank.
one gank told the entire story of this game.
That.
Oh, and look, that's when we lost Fear. I think maybe we're in a pause right now, and we just don't know. Is that what's happening?
That's probably true.
That's probably what's happening. Nope.
Back into the game we go. Smoke up TNC. 4-man smoke up between the towers, Tier 1 and Tier 2, so a really deep rotation that they may not be expecting on the side of Evil Geniuses as they show up in the river. See if EG gets caught by surprise. Of course, the smoke has worn out. And EG, I mean, they spread themselves out pretty heavily. They're ready, trying to scout any of the TNC members making their way in. 1437 is going to show himself on the right-hand side, but the rest of TNC is going to come in from behind. They're going to go for silence first on Omni-Knight. Now they managed to get the stun onto the Storm Spirit as well. They're going for crit first, though. RTZ is going to be able to get some damage as a result. Oh, my God. Fierce is doing so much damage to these heroes. Looks like Tim's going to be run down by RTZ. Now turns with easy kill onto the Zeus. Fear manages to survive through that Sand King stun as well, but not the missile. Cuckoo gets the dominating spree, managed to take down 3 there. So a 4-for-3 exchange. Not terrible for TNC if Tinker's getting some gold, but you got to be worried about.
I thought that was going to go way worse, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
And again, it kind of shows that same problem that Sam H was having last game on the Bat Rider, but now it's been transferred to our Night Stalker because he's like, who do I silence? Do I silence the Storm Spirit because he's just going to get repelled, or do I silence this Omni Knight and he just uses himself and we don't have the follow up to stop him from then just repelling and then just healing and throwing out all of his abilities.
It feels like they didn't have very good targeting.
Yeah, like the coordination
they
wasn't
silenced
exactly
the Omni
perfect.
Knight, and they burrow strike on the Storm, and then their cores focus down the Rubik. I'm not sure if that's the person you want to be. It's the faster kill.
Yeah.
But Storm Spirit is definitely the highest damage dealer.
And Cuckoo is getting that gold, but the fact that like it's so much like spent time for Raven, he just can't get anything on this Razor. Like if he has to just be sitting there by this tower, he can't go out and push or farm or do anything. Feels pretty vulnerable too because the Storm could just be TPing to shrines and kicking off fights. He doesn't know when there's a bounty, just tracking his every move. It's gonna be really hard for Raven to get back into this game unless he starts getting some of these kills and they start coming out actually on top of these team fights by like a hefty margin. Now this is why we had that replay because it's a familiar scene where we almost killed the TP in the same spot.
There we are. We are going to be able to find Fear. I thought he was actually going to back out, noticing somehow that TNC were off map and being able to dodge that smoke gank. TNC still find the kill. RTZ's actually struggling to enforce this fight. I mean, he's got his completed Bloodstone, so he is eager to get some extra charges here. But fighting into the full 4-man of TNC may not be so easy during nighttime.
They see the courier moving down there with that ward, so they're going to be able to track in that and say, let's see who's down here. No one's going to come nearby enough for a good kill, and that ultimate now running out here on the Razor. But this is good. This feels like much better movement for Raven. Like this, at least he's trying to get some stuff done. Cuckoo's pushing out that lane like Tinkers do.
Oh, they spotted RTZ, already got the silence on him. This is huge if they can actually get him with the 2-man burrow strike. They're setting up really well, but the Invis is going to cause some problems. Finally, the silence does manage to run out. He actually turns, goes for the Razor. Again, the easy kill because he's just so underfarmed. RTZ goes deeper, goes for the 1437 kill, gets that one as well. 3-man burrow strike from ZMH with the epicenter on top. What a big play, but it's not quite
my
enough to finish
God.
off Arteezy. They need this kill desperately. Tim's is willing to risk his life to try for it, but with the TP coming in from Fear, he decides against it. They still manage to take out 3 on the side of Evil Geniuses, so it's a 2-for-3 exchange. Poor Raven has got to just be feeling awful about his life, but again, Tinker is the big recipient of all this gold.
Yeah, and at the very least, I mean, SamH has started to leapfrog a little bit up the board, so it's tough. They don't have any good answers to the BKB, or in this case, just the repel for the Storm Spirit. So he's running around these fights completely rampant. We're going to have to look for, I guess, like that scythe control coming out from the Tinker later on to the game. It's a lot of itemization stuff that's going to be coming out to try and save this one for TNC, but they are keeping those waves pushed out. And in a good position. Here we go. That fight once again here. You see Cuckoo comes in at the perfect time just after these initiations. And SamH just kind of waits for his moment.
Again, maybe, jeez, it just seems like they don't have enough damage to actually really threaten Arteezy. They get the silence on him, they lay some damage on him, but he's got 2,000 HP, and Storms have pretty good armor as well, naturally. So, without the Tinker already there as the silence goes down, like that's the guy they need to be able to take some chunks out of Storm Spirit's HP. As a result, they kind of split their focus, right? They don't kill Rubik, they don't kill the Storm in that opening initiation.
We need to find those big refractions from the Aghanim Scepter from the Tinker. Like those setups of the Burrow Strike like that with the laser flying through, that's when that real damage is going to be pumping on out here. 1437. Currently eyeing up the Force Staff, but it is a component for the Aghanims. There's a chance, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get there at any time that'll be useful.
They pop that Zeus ultimate. They do see most of the EG all around that Roshan pit area, but they weren't actually in Roshan pit. He was kind of in the dire jungle area. EG, with the Metamorphosis, going to the Roche pit, take it, TNC. Not sure if they're none the wiser, but they're certainly missing out on an opportunity to contest. Long jump in from Arteezy. With this Bloodstone, with the Aegis, with the Repel, it allows him to be able to go in deep and threaten support's lives. Unfortunately, the Eul Scepter cost him a little bit of issues there, so.
That cost him a nighttime too.
20 to 21, 7,000 gold lead, 26 minutes in for Evil Geniuses. Another game that EG looks to be in pretty good control, but TNC do have their one shining hope. That is Cuckoo's Tinker. He's got a Scythe of Ice now. Big upgrade.
Yeah, that kind of shows that whole problem with the damage though that they're having is that he can't just itemize completely into like, you know, this Aether and this Aghanim Scepter. He's the one who has to kind of get that control going because no one else is getting enough gold for it. SamH was just able to afford the Eul Scepter, so he'll be able to play a little bit more confidently in the fights because of that, especially up against Arteezy. Can help deal with the tracks too, give them a little bit better idea.
I feel like TNC's done a good job of playing pretty grouped up and haven't given away too many pickoffs for the Storm
sure.
here. It's just they've lost team fights, but they haven't given away free kills. They did spot Misery there, but they are going to be able to jump in. The Scythe of Ice as well, the Burrow Strike, a little bit overlap. They need some extra stuns. They need Tim's here to be able to get the silence. They just couldn't get him there in time. Now the Telekinesis top back, but they do have Vision. They need to be able to take out that Vision to be able to help save some of their allies. Fortunately, Misery did get invis off the Glimmer Cape. They managed to kill him, though. Jump in from Arteezy. Again, stunned up by the Burrow Strike. This time around, they can maybe get the silence off on him, and he is left with 0 things to be able to pull out of that one. 1437, trying to walk away with the track.
They're going to catch him if he jumps in here.
Oh, no.
You know he wants to.
Arteezy's repelled and everything. He guaranteed gets that kill. The question is whether or not he makes it out alive. So he decides to play it safe.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised. I think if it's a core, he probably would have went.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Lowest member of the Dire team is confident enough to say, all right, let's get back away. Because they have nothing to go through this BKB.
Yeah.
8 March of this regime damage chosen. Not the 100 damage on Tinker. How strange.
Damn it. When are these pros going to realize the
when
value?
will they figure it out? I don't know.
Idiots.
Yeah, they've got some issues.
Think about how much gold that is.
Hundreds.
Hundreds. Hundreds of the golds.
That's a Manta Razor. Trying to find some solutions. Doesn't have too many this game. Trying to stay alive, deal with the silences.
Why Manta instead of BKB?
I guess constant use for the track would be my best answer, but it's not that great. I'm not sure if you have a better one.
I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't just like go the sort of tank builds that we've been seeing out of like some of these sacrificial carries. Maybe this is
Like Shivas and BKB and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that. but-
drums, and yeah, you just like tank. We saw a pipe build on one of the Razors.
Maybe he's
yesterday,
looking for
right?
some more gold too. Just sending out these illusions, like please. Hey, give something for the Tinker to TP on too.
Sure. So Raven still hoping that he can be one of the damage dealers for this game. Not giving up on his role as a carry just yet. He is sitting at 10k net worth. That's only 2,000 behind the Terrorblade right now. Unfortunately, it is 4,000 gold behind Samael's Omni Knight.
Yeah, and that's gonna keep going up too with that Radiance. He's just gotten to the point where he's actually starting to like get a decent farm speed going. What do you think about Fear's net worth? It feels, I don't know. I guess it's been Fear, right? That's kind of how he's been playing, but it's kind of surprising that even on a hero like TB, he's still at that point, you know?
Yeah.
Where he's still being sacrificed to give more towards Arteezy and towards Sumail.
I was about to say, I was thinking, it was like, if anybody's playing the Terrorblade this game, it's Fear, because that hero's been totally countered by the draft.
Yeah, exactly.
Yule Scepter, Sand King, serious trouble. Oh, and he gave away the Burrow Strike to crit as well.
And
That's
now-
not going to feel good. 2 supports down. Track kills aplenty. Now, there is a lot of rockets, but I don't think TNC could do. They bought back on the Sand King? Really?
Yeah, there was enough to drive them back. Perhaps they were
Oh,
worried they were going
jump.
to chase.
Guessing, hoping, not finding Cuckoo.
50-50 chance.
Yeah.
Arteezy guesses wrong this time, though. And there's also a regen rune top, which they do see, so they could go for
Ooh.
possibly a smoke play. But Cuckoo's also nearby, too. He
Oh,
might
the
just
long
deny
jump
it.
onto Cuckoo, but he's already blinked away. He barely got ahead of Arteezy. Managed to get the scythe onto him. He's going to commit. No, Glimmer Cape is too much of a problem, man. Okay. Orchid holds on to Sand King. Just got to get out.
Arteezy just immediately uses the regen rune, too. Could think about being repelled. Yeah, they've smoked up. Probably going to think about repelling him, having him jump on in if he doesn't want to waste his BKB.
Man, this Glimmer Cape has been... It saved so many heroes. Crit used it on Stormsphere multiple times now. It's hard for TNC to be able to keep vision down constantly when they have to play pretty spread out with their Tinker,
Yep.
which is their primary kill hero, right?
And the other thing, it's hard to see during a game, but when everyone's tracked up on the dire side and everyone on the range is just moving so much faster. Like, they're already building these heavier move speed items, but the tracks are just letting them maneuver so much more around the fights.
Yeah. Oh man, they've got a pipe on a bounty hunter. That's how you know it's been a good game for the support player.
Tim's is now about 1,200 gold away here from the Agnum Scepter. Trying to just add up that vision. That would be one way to kind of counter that back, especially up against the bounty hunter. But it's still quite a ways away as the EG lead now increases to 9k while we patiently await another Roshan.
Yeah, it's all well and good, right? Evil Geniuses have that fantastic lead and everything. Game's going great. But the hardest part of the game is still got to be breaking high ground against a carry Tinker, right?
It is, but I don't know how they stop a BKB / repelled Storm Spirit from just jumping in and killing someone. That could be a problem.
With positive thoughts, Trent.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Because if they're just sitting on that high ground,
Get some positivity in here.
yeah,
Jeez.
that's what they need. Because Arteezy is just going to obliterate someone, and they're just going to stand there. They're just going to hang it out and be like, man, I'm glad that's not me. Because there's nothing we can do. We need a Glimmer Cape or something.
Aim those positive thoughts at Arteezy immediately.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers to our
Dire's
boys
top tower is under attack.
in black and orange. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
that sounds
TNC
about right.
colors.
The,
Not just yet. There are no condolences here. TNC
the
fighting
Phoenix
and
Army,
hoping.
I believe, is their
Phoenix
fan base.
Army, is that their
That's
is
their
that
fan
thing?
base. Yes,
That's what that bird is?
I believe
It's
so.
a phoenix?
I think so. The things you learn. We're going to be
You know, I
casting
can-
in front of the Phoenix Army. Yeah.
Oh,
Wowzers.
we certainly
The
wanna-
question is, will TNC be playing?
I was about to say, we certainly wouldn't want to lose TNC for that Phoenix Army now, would we?
Of course not.
It's TNC. It's time to pull it up. Score's even, at least. Kill score, 22 to 22.
Ah, yes. Well said. Net worth, not even. Thank you, Pimp. Oh, my goodness.
The experience.
He's all over the place. He's a madman.
He's a maniac.
They're so chill right now in EG. Man, it's like kind of game one, but just if maybe they don't necessarily feel that strong. You must feel so good at Storm this game, though. Like, they pick it so late on. They already had an Omni Knight. They're like, man, this game is good. But it's all on Sam H. It's all on Cuckoo. They're the ones who have to find that little tiny sliver of hope in the armor that is provided from Sumail and that BKB.
Misery's going to scout things out for RTZ here in 4 Tims. It's daytime, so he couldn't see them.
Like, right there. Oh, poor hero.
Oh, no.
What a shell of his former self.
Sandstorm. That's not what he wanted.
He needs to like play the buddy system these days, you know?
Yeah.
He needs a friend if it's daytime. And they just hold. Hold. Clear the waves. It's our best hope.
EG, they're just waiting out on Roshan. If they could get Aegis, they can get Cheese, then Storm Spirit can make even crazier plays into the TNC space when they go for the high ground push. And honestly, like, there's still plenty of opportunities for big pickoffs with this Tinker constantly forced to go for these split pushes. So, EG, even if they do get Aegis and Cheese, there really is no rush. Just head into TNC's base.
Yeah, they're still playing slow in a sense of like a lot of group play too. So they don't want to give that opportunity away. Because we talk about RTZ. Yes, RTZ is amazing in this game. His Storm Spirit's going to be so good. He's going to be BKB'd, but he can't actually just completely 1v5. So there's a chance that they don't play it quite right. They can start picking them off one by one.
Well, that's the right play. RTZ with the double damage finds another Bloodstone charge. What are we at, JJ? 20 Bloodstone charges, damn. And he's got a Sheathus too, so makes it even easier to scout the Tinker. It is hard knock life for this Tinker when it comes to split pushing. He's got to be so scared. It's a Bounty Hunter, it's a Storm Spirit with Shivas for the reveal, and soon an Aegis and Cheese on Evil Geniuses. You ever notice that before, Rubik? He does a little jig.
Oh, he's doing his dance
while he's standing still, sandstorming. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense because Sand King does his little Chanlin dance thing going on. And who we hand that cheese off to? Oh, he's just gonna chill. Crickets hold it.
Oh, I like that choice, by the way, the Aeon Dis on the Omni Knight.
Yep.
Making sure he can't get really bursted down by the Tinker.
If I have a Terrorblade and a Storm, I don't need to put in damage. You know, I'll be happy as long as I'm staying alive and providing those guys the space that they need.
It significantly decreases the disable of silence, right? Which is probably the Night Stalker's first target.
Yeah, I can't forget about status resistance.
Radiant are scanning.
And they've postured themselves into a pretty aggressive stance. Have their vision nearby. Ooh, Cuckoo. He almost showed up there.
Yeah,
Wise choice not to go.
If I'm TNC, it looks like they've got a gem coming in. Or you said gem dropped here. Isn't it at the base?
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, oh, there it is. Because I mean, they have the Aghanim Scepter, so it was
Aghanim
time. And they can clear it a couple wards in place by EG. Looks like they've got a line going across the top there. I don't know if that's crits or not. It might just be crit. Yeah, now I start seeing them coming through the wards.
At least TNC are doing the right thing, right? They're four-manning around with their Tinker rotations because he simply can't do it solo anymore. Too risky.
Yeah, when you're going high ground, at least that part is telegraphed. You know, you need a wave there, so they can kind of guess as to what EG's maneuvers are.
That poor frog. Oh, the long jump in for the Shivas. Managed to hit 3 with that one. Is going to go for the Night Stalker first. See if they can take away that gem. Sumail already losing his Aeon Disc status. Is going to be vulnerable, but they can't really get any disables out on him. The Sand King is going to be caught underneath RTZ's spell and bursted down by the Remnants. It did cost him the BKB of Fear.
Oh, there's no buyback though on Sam H. And they have the creep wave, even the catapult to boot. And even a glyph if they really need it.
Well, he's still got
Send those creeps in.
They still got Tinker, so maybe they can spam it up. Oh, no, they can't lose their Tinker, though. Night Stalker trying to stop what's happening here, but the Zeus is still going to die to RTZ. Jumps in a little deeper, pushing the rest of TNC back now up to 22 Bloodstone charges, 63 mana a second.
At the very least, Sam H has passively gained his buyback, so there's a chance he can make some sort of turnaround play. But RTZ begins the slow siege. They have a 4-staff on the Razor to make them get a cheeky push-up. That's the best hope they have right now. Of course, if you push anyone to the base, then RTZ just jumps you and you die, so...
Yeah. And who you gonna push anyway?
Yeah, just Misery hanging out nearby trying to ward or something.
Yeah. Oh no, Tim,
God,
fly! Fly, you fool!
Well,
Didn't make it.
that was that Ags and Gem.
Yeah. RTZ. He is fearless because he can be. They jump in, Blink Dagger. Oh, Force Staff actually stopping that one. Actually hits the stun onto Raven anyway, and that's going to hurt things a little bit, but what's going to hurt more is losing their Tinker and not having buyback, and ultimately don't think they can defend without their Tinker. It's going to take a while, though, for Evil Geniuses to be able to close out all of these barracks, especially since there's a tier 2 still in the bottom lane, so TNC do not have to give up just yet. Probably just have to give up 2 lanes of Rax. See if Evil Geniuses push more. They're going to go for more indeed. Zeus is going to be the target here. Break it up. Easy kill there. Raven's also going to die. The epicenter comes in for the SamH whiff. No, actually hits crit, but still does not manage to get the kill. Sumail saves him.
Hype and Nullfield on the defensive. Oh my god, there's no damage.
There is just nothing.
Yeah, this game, I don't know, I didn't have that same hope that I felt in game 1.
Yeah.
Where it felt like TNC had this chance to make that comeback play. This one, it just felt like, I don't know, that Storm Spirit was such a good pick. They got off to a very good start, and the Razor didn't get like any sort of domination happening for him up against the Omni Knight. It seemed like the way the lanes were set up with the supports just worked out way too well for EG. And Raven was almost a complete non-factor this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just did not have a fun time whatsoever. Laning phase, mid-game, and I mean, he's playing kind of that sacrificial carry. I'm not sure if itemizing or anything would have changed anything for him. It personally just seems to me that the Storm Spirit last pick was the superior drafting for Evil Geniuses, and ultimately TNC were not going to be able to do too much to offset that.
Yeah, the problem is you pick Razor because you see Omni Knight and you need these lane matchups, and then if that doesn't go well, then the hero maybe doesn't fit into the rest of your draft all too well. He wants to play a certain way, and it was hard to make that work with
the way EG did their lanes as well, right? With the Rubik protecting the Omni Knight against that one-on-one, really helping things out. Evil Geniuses, though, looking at them, they are going to be moving on here at ESL One Genting. How are you feeling about their chances moving forward to the rest of this tournament? Do you think they can actually reclaim the top 3 that EG once held?
I don't know. I'm being turned more and more in their favor, I think. I'm starting to like more of these plays. I like the way that Fear's evolving. I feel like he's the person that's changing the most throughout all of this, where he's slowly progressing through these heroes. As long as they can get him those more like aggressive and involved heroes like that Viper and that Terrorblade today, I like their chances.
All right,
but it's still uphill. Yes.
Optimistic that EG can make that lower bracket run through into the playoffs, see what they can do there. We're going to head back to the panel now, see if they can break down Evil Geniuses' win in this series 2-0 against TNC.
Thanks very much. Yes, Trent the Cap, the commentators for our first series of the day. 2 more series to come, of course. We'll break things down in game number 2. The curse is well and truly broken, though. A good draft and a good win for Evil Geniuses. They need 1 more victory in a best of 3 to make it to the quarterfinals in the playoffs. We'll also answer that question as well with our 2 members on the panel. Nahaz and Gods are back with us. What can you say about that?
I mean, Sumail who, right? Arteezy Storm Spirit.
I will hold my hand up and go, okay, I was wrong, and that's fine, and he was all right.
Artur is a very good Storm Spirit, of course, overshadowed by his teammate, but I don't think that they needed necessarily even superb Storm Spirit play in this game. They had the better draft, executed early on in the lanes, as the casters already mentioned, offsetting the potential laning disadvantage from the Omni Knight. So it was just solid from start to finish, really.
Yeah, like 5 minutes in, I looked at the CS, and Razor was like 8 CS, and the laner he was against had like 20 CS. And I was just like, well, isn't that the opposite of what's meant to happen? You pick this Razor because he dominates the lane, wins the CS battle, and EG just had a kind of 2v1 matchup. Rubik was securing that lane, so this Raven Razor just felt very out of place when you're not giving him a good lane.
Yeah. Tough game for TNC. Tough series for them as well, really.
Really not the best tournament for Raven as well as SamH in particular. Definitely, I mentioned in one of the previous TNC series how Raven is usually in patch by patch like top 5 among carries for his numbers over really the past 2 seasons. Just the way the carry role has evolved in this patch, carries are going to be a lot of the time less flashy. They're more hitting buildings than hitting enemy heroes. I mean, Fear, I believe he finished this game without a kill. He was 0-5-5, but still it felt like they got value out of that Terrorblade.
Going for the Melk Award.
Hey, you know what? But I don't think you're going to see Fear ever get to 20 deaths in a game. Sorry, Jacob. But I feel like they're getting more and more out of Fear with less resources given. And again, you go back to Hamburg, that was something that we were talking about with EG, that 3 very greedy cores.
Yeah.
Fear capable of playing much more efficient Dota, doing more with less.
Yeah.
Fear's just like, you guys counterpicked me with Zeus Tinker? Well, guess what? I'm going to support this game, basically. He did 6 or 7k damage, and then the Storm did 37,000 damage. So I think you kind of counterpicked the wrong hero when you look at that. Obviously, you can't counterpick a 10th pick Storm. It was just the perfect last pick to round out EG's draft. And that's where the second I saw the Zeus pick, it was like, well, why? You have this Tinker, you've dealt with the TB, round out your draft, make it more balanced. Don't go all into counter one hero that EG just then put on the side.
I mean, it ended up being a 5 Zeus as well, which we were sort of discussing a little bit, and we thought it probably would have been a 3. Do you think it was a 3 and then it changed because of the way that the draft played out, or was it just a mistake?
Yeah.
Theben may be on something where he thinks this 5-position Zeus is actually really good and viable.
Yeah.
Maybe he's worked in pubs, scrims, who knows, but everything I know about Dota told me Zeus should not be played as a 5.
And look, Theben has done this before, right? He brought back the 5-position Lina when nobody really believed in it for a while. He brought back the 5-position Jakiro last season when nobody was picking that hero. He's had success doing this before, but it didn't fit.
Those are heroes that have always traditionally been 5s. Yeah, is the thing. Whereas you look at Zeus, it's like
fair enough.
Never in the history of Dota has
I
he
was
been a
trying,
5.
guys. I was trying.
He likes to do some weird kind of hipster stuff with his.
And by the way, look me in the eyes, 5 positions.
Yeah, he's a theory crafter, right? He's a theory crafter, and we know that he loves to play around with the theory of the game. So I guess you kind of have to just, he's got so much experience, you have to go with it when he comes up with something like that. Didn't work out this time. Let's turn our attention to EG. Yeah. They'll obviously have to play one more match. It's going to be between Na'Vi and Mineski. As to who they play, they're still playing out, by the way. It's 1-1 right now between those two teams. So they'll play the winner of that game. We'll see that at the end of the day, potentially as well. Have they done enough to convince you that they can make it out of this group in 3rd place against either of those two teams?
I think so. I think this group, as much as I talked about how it feels like it's got a lot of depth going down, I don't feel like the 3rd place team is going to be as strong or stable as the 3rd place from the other group. The other group had Fnatic, Vici, and VGJ fighting for that 3rd slot. I'm like, well, that's a scary race. This one, it feels like Na'Vi, Mineski, EG, TNC.
Fairly even?
None of these teams, and fairly even, and none of them are in great form. Like it's kind of like whichever team is just going to show up is going to get that 3rd slot. Whereas the other group, it's like all 3 of those teams have shown up to play and kind of in really good form. So it's kind of a weird difference between the two groups.
Okay, let's bring that graphic right now for you and show you the bracket as it stands in this particular group. As we said earlier on, Team Liquid and Newbie are already through. We just need to find out which part of the playoff bracket they will fall into, because this is a very unique format that we have here at ESL One for the first time with 16 teams. Liquid or Newbie, the winner of that will go straight to the semi-finals. The loser will go to the quarterfinals. Both are guaranteed a playoff place. The interest, though, as we've said before, is in the lower bracket, where Evil Genius, as you can see, have advanced through past TNC and will play the winner of Na'Vi versus Mineski. Now, that final game, the loser goes home, the winner goes to the quarterfinals. So a massive game for one of those 3 teams that are left in this competition. What do you make of the Na'Vi Mineski result? It's kind of what we thought, isn't it? I mean, if any 2 teams were closely matched, it was these 2.
Yeah, I think Na'Vi maybe on the way up, Mineski maybe on the way down, but still very much an even matchup there. The thing, in addition to what Gods was saying, neither of those teams necessarily in top form, and EG is also very familiar with both. EG has played both, EG's beaten both. I think that's going to be an uphill battle for either of those teams in the next series today.
All right, well, what a difference a couple of days can make in Dota 2. Day 1, Evil Geniuses turn up, don't look particularly good. Here we are on day 3, on the verge of qualification and potentially the favourites to do so. We're going to move on next, and we're going to have the sister matchup between Vici Gaming and VGJ Thunder. It's a rematch from round 1. Let's see whether we get the same result. It's coming up after the break.
They spotted RTZ, already got the silence on him. This is huge if they can actually get him with the 2-man throw strike. They're setting up really well. The Invis is going to cause some problems. Finally, the silence does manage to run out. He actually turned, goes for the Razor. Again, the easy kill because he's just so underfarmed. RTZ goes deeper, goes for the 1437 kill, gets that one as well. 3-man throw strike from CMH with the epicenter on top. What a big play, but it's not quite enough to finish off RTZ.
I want to get in there. Wow. You dead? Yeah, I'm dead.
Never, dude!